In the 21st century, there really haven't been any startup US airlines, not named JetBlue, that weren't an abysmal failure upon their launch or weren't ridiculous ideas to begin with. But that all changed in 2021 with the launch of an airline called Breeze and another one called Avelo. I think that's how you say it. So today we're going to fly that one from here in BWI to New Haven. Now, one problem, I cannot find any signage for this airline at the arrivals concourse here. Like, look, if you zoom in, you can see all the other airlines, and over here too. But I honestly have no idea where Avelo is. So let's go in the building and see if we can find out. On the hunt for our airline. We're starting at the end of the D concourse and walking towards A, B, and C. Landside, all the concourses are connected, although airside, there's two different secure areas. Here's some more obscure airlines. Still no sign of Avelo. We can see that our flight to New Haven does exist. So if there was an Avelo check-in counter, I walked right past it. And we've walked back across the D gates. Still no sign of Avelo. Here's the sparsely populated international check-in area, and I think I found them. Yes, Avelo and Sun Country happen to be over here with all the international airlines for some reason. Let's check outside to see if there's a sign for Avelo yet, or if that is still in the works. Yes, we have British Airways, Icelandair, and Condor over here. We got Play, which is another startup airline that flies to Iceland. Air Senegal, did not know that flew here. And then way over there, Sun Country and Avelo Airlines. Apparently, Minneapolis is another country. So I got my bag checked and my boarding pass printed, which is a good thing because the app does not actually display the boarding pass. I tried to log into the app and it just went to the booking page. I then tried to refresh the app and it asked me to log in again. It's not a particularly useful app. I also tried to see how much it would cost to upgrade to a big front seat, or whatever they call it on Avelo. And the app crashed when I went to check in. They registered me as having requested that seat but needing to pay money. When I said I didn't want to pay it, then they said I had to pay for the seat that I originally selected, even though I already paid for that. So then I had to show them the receipt to show them that I already booked that seat, and then they were fine with it. So it's a little confusing, but the staff were very, very, very friendly, and they said that if the flight's not full, then flight attendants usually let people sit wherever. So we'll see how that goes. Can we appreciate that the music right now is the sound of silence, but played on a saxophone? So there's a decent number of people getting off from the New Haven flight, so I guess they're getting some ridership. They then board based on groups, and I'm in group 3, so I might be sitting here for a bit still. Shout out to the gate agent who let me get on a little bit early to film the inside. Always have to touch the plane, and it's actually an advertisement. Our aircraft today is a Boeing 737-700, originally delivered to Southwest Airlines in 2008. The seats are in a typical 3-3 configuration, with 29 inches of pitch, whatever that means. Each passenger has a tray table and the typical safety card and vomit bag, but there's no in-flight magazine, IFE, Wi-Fi, or charging ports. It soon becomes apparent that this flight is not going to fill up. Barely 30 to 40% of the seats are occupied, and I have about 3 or 4 rows to myself. A few minutes later, we're pushing back from the gate, on our way to New Haven. We cross Delmarva and pass over Atlantic City before flying out over the Atlantic Ocean. The flight is too short for a proper snack and beverage service, but a flight attendant brings me a uniquely branded water bottle when I ask.
Well, there's nothing much to see out the window. Let's talk about Avelo's unique network. Avelo, founded out of the remains of a charter airline by former United CFO Andrew Levy, is primarily focused on leisure travelers looking for a good deal. This isn't unusual. Plenty of other airlines try to cater to this market. But Avelo is a unique model, choosing little-used airports in Burbank and New Haven as hubs, and then operating two completely separate networks in each half of the country. My flights today cost $84, which included a checked bag and seat selection. Like with many low-cost carriers, passengers are required to pay for overhead bin space for carry-ons, but I opted not to do this. After about an hour, we're crossing Long Island and descending into New Haven. So, my final thoughts on Avelo? Honestly, I love it. It somehow managed to find its own niche in an oversaturated market, with decent prices, a comfortable cabin, and friendly staff. It's also nailed its branding, with an attractive logo and color scheme, but I think it has captured word-of-mouth advertising even more, as multiple people I talked to in New Haven spoke highly of the convenient, cheap airline, saying that while my Baltimore flight had plenty of empty seats, flights from New Haven to Florida were regularly full. At New Haven, the plane parks on the apron, and we descend a ramp and follow employees to the terminal.
Alright, I am landside at New Haven Tweed Airport. And one interesting thing I found out about this airport is that there's two different buildings for arrivals and departures. So I came in through the arrivals building, and right next to me is the departures building. Never really seen that done before. Here's a better shot of the departures building. The full service check-in for Avelo is actually somewhere around here. Anyways, now I am off to get some New Haven style pizza, because when I first visited this city, you guys told me that's a thing you need to do here. And I have actually done my research.
Caleb did his research.
Yes, I've asked a local friend to recommend the best pizza place, and I'm going to meet him there. So, pick back up.
Caleb deleted his footage. It's like New York pizza, but they burn the crust for some reason.